Greetings recruits, and welcome to another exciting week here at MMO Training Camp. This week we're talking about groups, also known as parties or raids in certain instances. Pun intended. Now, grouping is the act of forming a group to experience content you wouldn't normally be able to experience as a solo player. Therefore, it is a fundamental skill to know how to play effectively in a group, as well as socialize with other players. This reminds me of a story. Huh? What's the matter, Riemann? Well, Coach, I'm playing Wildstar, and I have a quest to kill an elite Champa Cobra. And we all know elites are more powerful than regular enemies, and I can't quite seem to kill him on my own. What can we do? Not to worry, Riemann. I've got an idea. Let's form up a group so we can take out that Champa Cobra and you can turn in that quest. First things first. What is a Champa Cobra? A Champa Cobra is one of many amazing beasts you can encounter on Nexus, which is the setting for the sci-fi MMORPG known as Wildstar. Most of this is pretty standard, but I want to run through the UI anyway. On the left is the chat panel, and below it are numerous interface buttons which can be left-clicked on to expand. At the bottom, in the center, is my action bar. My character is a level 6 medic and has 6 abilities available. The green cubes above the action bar are called actuators, which are a medic-specific resource used for casting powerful attacks. My character portrait is up to the left and includes health and shield level. On the far right is the objective panel, which houses not only quests, but different events I can complete that are in my vicinity. Directly above the objective panel, in the far top right, is the minimap. As I mentioned, I currently have 6 ability slots available. To see a master list of all the abilities I've learned, I press the default key B. This is an example of moving abilities around on the action bar and can only be done from this panel in the standard user interface. Let's take a look at the tooltip for Atomize. Atomize requires a multi-hit, which is a special type of critical hit in order to become usable, so I can probably drop it from my action bar for now. If I slot in Emission, I add an ability that can help heal my group. That could be useful. Before I join a group with Riemann and hunt down old Champy, I just wanted to show a quick clip about the basics of combat in Wildstar, because abilities are not directly targeted like in Warcraft, but instead use telegraphs as a targeting mechanism. I'll kill these Oxian, then show you what it looks like to heal another player. Healing works exactly the same way, a telegraphed visual cue. Alright, let's get focused on our goal and join up with Riemann. There's a nifty command in Wildstar we can use to do this. Typing /join and then someone's character name will send that person a request to let you join up. Entering even one letter will cause the UI to give you suggestions on who to join. The top name listed here is Riemann's new character name. We'll use that. Once he accepts, the party panel appears on the left and a green smiley appears on the minimap to indicate a group member is nearby. I can use it to meet up with Riemann. It didn't take long for Riemann to track his quarry. I'll let him take point, while I use some ranged abilities to help him take this guy down. Notice that when I use Gamma Rays, which is keybound as number 2 on my action bar, it uses 2 of my actuators. Using Discharge, which is keybound as number 1 on my action bar, it restores 1 actuator. It looks like Riemann got hit by one of Champy's telegraphed attacks, which hit much harder than irregular enemies. He looks like he needs some healing. Luckily, I slotted in Emission, so I can help out with that. Phew! That got a little hairy, but we came out on top. Victory! Now let's go over some hard and fast rules for playing effectively in a group environment. Do some research on the best abilities and setup for your class and role. This includes the most effective rotation. It's also important to learn what you can about the group content you'll be tackling before you attempt it. What do I mean by role? The majority of MMOs require players to organize by role, and there are 3 primary roles: tank, healer, and DPS, which stands for damage per second. Tanks hold the attention of powerful enemies and are able to absorb damage very well, while healers heal the tank and DPS, plus offer other forms of support. DPS characters focus on maximizing their damage output. This concept is widely known as the Holy Trinity. Once you are comfortable with a role and find a group, try to remember to always be courteous to other players. You may come into contact with players who are not as skilled as Coach will help you become, so try to bear that in mind. In most popular MMOs, group content rewards powerful items, which increase a character's own potential. Make sure that loot rules for handling the distribution of these items have been clearly defined and agreed upon. Stay in your lane, meaning stick to your role. Unless you're very familiar with the people in your group, do not attempt to tank while specialized to deal damage, as an example. This may reflect poorly to other players you aren't used to playing with. And finally, focus up and have fun.
Alright recruits, that's it for this week. I really hope you enjoyed learning about groups because it is by far my favorite aspect of MMORPGs. Next week we're going to talk about key bindings and go a little bit more in depth about ability rotations. Have a great week and keep practicing.